27-year-old student Julie Lagos is suing nightclub owner Jack Wade for damages due to an assault. Julie claims one of the club's female bouncers punched her in the head.
Come to order, all rise. Yes, case number 317 on the calendar, the matter of Lagos versus Wade. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Wade, you own a bar?
Yes.
The plaintiff was a patron in that bar?
Yes.
You had an employee in that bar? Female employee?
Yes.
In what capacity did you employ this woman?
The woman is a security.
And according to Miss Lagos, this female security guard at your bar assaulted her without provocation. Now, there is some merit to her statement because this security guard pled guilty to assault, correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Let us take that as a given. She pled guilty and then she fled the jurisdiction after sentencing. That's what it says here, right?
Yes.
Miss Lagos said she was injured and she wants to be compensated.
Correct.
When were you assaulted in Mr. Wade's bar?
On November 27th of 2003.
Tell me about it.
I was at the bar with a girlfriend. I have never been to that bar before. I went into the bar. I lost my friend. So I proceeded towards where I saw a bouncer at the exit. I asked him, what do people do when they lose their friends? He told me that I can try calling her on my cell phone, which I proceeded to do. And then afterwards, when I tried to come back in, he wouldn't let me back in. And so I was just inquiring on, well, how do I get back in? I'm lost. I've never been here before. And then out of nowhere, the security guard that came in, and she didn't know the conversation at all. And she just butted in and said, what's the problem? And I told her, I said, you know, please don't talk to me that way. You don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere, she'd hit me on the right side of my head. I started crying. I've never been in a fight before. I asked the bouncer to get me assistance. I felt dizzy. I felt like I was going to pass out.
When she hit you, what did she hit you with?
A closed fist. The bouncer told me at that point to go home and drink it off. It happens all the time. They refused to call the owner. They refused to call any assistance for me. So I went on my cell phone. Another person who was there helped me walk to my car, and I dialed 911.
Either one of you there that evening?
Right, yes.
Were you at the door?
Yes.
Step up. Tell me your name.
Kevin Kinzis.
How long have you worked for Mr. Wade?
I'm a customer there.
You were a customer?
Right.
A regular customer?
Yes.
How did it come about that you accompanied Mr. Wade to court today?
Just came back there and asked what happened.
Came back
I came back to the establishment and asked him what happened because I saw a bunch of stuff going on at the back exit.
Well, what kind of stuff did you see going on, Mr. Kinzis?
Well, I was leaving through the other exit, and I seen her going through this exit.
Yes.
And I saw the bouncer saying, you can't come in through this exit. And it just...
And what?
This girl came by and...
Which girl?
This security guard.
Security guard came by and...
She said, shut up, you bull dyke, beep, and then, like, flicked her hair.
What? Who said what to whom, sir? You're not being clear. I want you to be clear.
The security guard.
Security guard said to her...
You cannot come in through here.
Yes.
And I heard, shut up, you bull dyke.
Who said it?
The security guard said it to her.
To her. So the security guard cursed her.
Right.
And then hit her.
Well, flicked her, not... I mean, hit her, just like flicked her hair.
And then what did you hear?
That was it, I just left.
So you didn't really, that really wasn't much of an incident?
No.
So what did you go find Mr. Wade for?
I just asked him what happened that night.
When did you ask him what happened that night?
Probably a week later.
Why would you even think about asking him what happened a week later, sir, if what you described to me was truthful, Mr. Kinzis, that nothing happened, somebody got their hair flicked? Why would that even stay in your mind, Mr. Kinzis?
I just asked him what happened back there, and he told me.
What did he tell you?
That some girl tried getting into the exit, and, are you a witness? And I said, yes, I saw it. What happened?
Sit down. Aren't you sorry you made a fool of yourself?
Yeah.
Sit down.
All right.
Good. Mr. Wade, Mr. Kinzis is sorry he made a fool of himself.
I think he's scared.
Now, were you hospitalized?
No, I didn't have insurance at that time.
Just listen to me. Answer my question. Were you hospitalized?
No, ma'am.
When for the first time did you seek medical assistance?
The next morning.
Do you have a report from a doctor?
I do, ma'am.
May I see it, please?
Can I add something?
Yes.
In case you can't read it, the last paragraph of this police report basically says the detective had a call because the...
May I see the police
Yes.
report, please?
Here's the police report, and here's the last
Okay.
paragraph right here.
Oh. Okay. Any medical follow-up?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see it, please?
Anything else you got?
No, sir. I have the docket report. I don't know if you need that.
What's your last name?
Dewberry.
What are you doing here?
I was the one that discussed this with her, settling.
You work for Mr. Wade?
Yes.
Stand up, please. What did you discuss with her?
I discussed going over her medical bills with her and coming up with a settlement for the incident that had happened.
When did you first have your conversation with her?
In July of 2004.
When did Miss Mullen plead guilty?
I don't know.
When?
She pled guilty at the end of April of 2004 by the district attorney.
So what took you so long? Why did you wait until July?
That's when I was first contacted by her.
When had she contacted you, Mr. Wade?
About June?
Not before June,
No.
even though this incident happened in November.
Right.
Is that right?
No, ma'am, it's not right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Claims nightclub owner Jack Wade owes for damages from an assault. Julie claims she was punched in the head by a female bouncer.
Now, when did you first
I first contacted him in December. He said that he was willing to work with me, but he was not going to settle with me for anything until he knew whether or not Lisa pled guilty by the district attorney.
That sounds right. This lady didn't wait, sir, until June. She went to the doctor right away, and she contacted you right away.
That's not true. She called me in June. I didn't know that anything was going on with her. She called me and she told me she'd been there. And
Let me tell you something, sir.
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
You see this gentleman over here? He came and testified a moment ago at your request. He said that he spoke to you a week after the incident, which would have been in December.
Yes.
And you asked him if he could be a witness.
No, I didn't ask him if he would be a
He
witness.
volunteered to be a witness.
No, he coming to me. No.
Right?
Right.
Right. That's what he says, Mr. Wade. Volunteered to be a witness. Now, why would you need a witness if the plaintiff did not contact you from November until June?
He came to me in December and he said, I was out there that night and heard this commotion, a bunch of yelling. And I said, oh, I said, did you see it? And he said, yeah. I said, what happened? He didn't know why she was yelling and all, just what he saw.
Mr. Wade, you're pulling my leg, sir.
No, I'm not pulling your leg.
Yeah, you are, sir. You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not.
Because this lady did not wait after she was assaulted in your bar 7 months before she contacted you to be compensated for the assault. Let's get over that, because it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, Mr. Wade, it's not true.
No.
Now-
I have a document here in July that she faxed us stating the damage done to her in July on her own father's fax machine.
Just 1 second. I'm not saying she didn't fax you that in July. I'm not saying she didn't contact you in June. I'm saying it was not the first time she contacted you. The first time she contacted you was prior to June. Now, when was your settlement negotiation with her?
I started discussing them with her in July.
What did you offer her?
I didn't offer anything. I offered to go over the medical bills with her
Yes.
and come to some sort of settlement. She was first seeking $10,000.
Yes.
We met again, and we came down to a $5,000 settlement based on the fact that these bills were true.
Okay, well, did you read the report from the detective?
No, I didn't
Well, the
receive
report from the
that.
detective indicates that the detective had conversations with a treating physician, whose report I do have here, who indicates that she was in fact injured, that the tenderness in her head was consistent with that injury, that in the opinion of the doctor it was a result of being hit in the head. Okay? Now, whether she had medical bills or not, even if she had no medical bills, you're still responsible. You're liable. You hired somebody to work in your establishment who you shouldn't have hired. I don't know what kind of background investigation you did, but certainly you're responsible. If somebody walks into your bar and a member of your staff assaults them, you're liable. You're liable for her pain and suffering. You're liable for her humiliation. You're liable if she gets dizzy, if she has flashbacks, if she has nightmares. Don't you get that, Mr. Wade?
I understand that. That's why we asked Kim to settle with her to see what the amount would be.
Well, then let me ask you this question, sir. What was the amount that you ultimately offered her?
They talked a discussion about $5,000. And she
so what are you doing here? If you offered her $5,000 and that's the maximum that this court can award, why are you here?
When Kim went to settle with her, we said about 7 to 10 days that we'd check the bills and get back to her. Now, on the 9th day, she called Kim up, yelling and screaming at her, and said if we don't have the money by 5 o'clock that day, the deal's off.
Let me ask you a question. If you said you understood what I just said to you, that whether she had medical bills or not, she was assaulted in your bar by one of your employees, and you are responsible. If she had a headache for 3 days, if she had dizziness, if she had tenderness in her head, which is consistent with the medical reports that are here from the detectives, you're responsible. How long did it take you from July to get back to her?
It was probably August when I was told her we'd probably, if he agreed to it, we'd settle in 7 to 10 days. On the 9th day, she called me and told me I better effing figure out a way to get her money tonight or I'd be sorry. Then she called me back again.
So just a minute. So you told her you were going to settle with her in 7 to 10 days. On the 7th day, you didn't settle with her. Get her a check. On the 8th day, you didn't settle with her. On the 9th day, you didn't call her. She called you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can I say something?
Sure.
The 7th and 8th day was on a Saturday and Sunday.
Then she shouldn't have said to her 7 to 10 days. She should have said 10 to 14 days.
I didn't do that.
You have a responsibility, Mr. Wade, that when you hire a security guard in your place of business, that you've done an appropriate background check. Now, I'm not going to ask you what kind of background check you did on this woman, because I don't think you did one. Because anybody who is convicted of assault and then takes off, this is not their first offense. This is not the first time that they have been involved in the law. That's your responsibility. And if because of your dereliction and your responsibility to make sure that not only are your doors covered, that people don't sneak in, but that your patrons are safe. Safe. According to the police, this lady was not intoxicated. She was not sloppy. What are you laughing at? Are you inappropriate or what?
She said she filed a report the next day. I just heard her say that.
On 11/27, date of the incident, I was dispatched. I officer was dispatched to South Manchester. Is that where you are, sir?
Yes.
All right. She was not intoxicated. That's the detectives. Why do you think this is funny?
I'm not laughing at you.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think I was done.
I'm very excited that justice was served.
I don't want to get into that.
Words can't even say. I've tried and tried again, and he played me, and now he's the one that got played.
I'd have nothing to say.
He was slick and just didn't want to deal with Julie.
I don't want to talk about that.
On the last day, he told me, see, try and take me to court, and I took him to court, and I prevailed.
I'm very upset right now.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter, Andrews versus Amadon Danforth. Step forward, please.
Homemaker Kathleen Andrews is suing her son's ex-girlfriend, 15-year-old student Leanna Danforth, and her mother, Amber Amadon, for the cost of a cell phone. Kathleen claims Leanna smashed the phone when she caught her son cheating.
No. How old are you?
17.
17. Girlfriend? Former girlfriend?
Yes.
Your name?
Leanna.
Your name?
Josh.
All right, Miss Andrews, you bought Josh a phone.
Yes.
Leanna got angry with him because she found out, or she believes she found out, that he wasn't faithful in their relationship, and somehow the phone got broken, right?
Yes.
How'd you break the phone?
I smashed it.
And you want her to pay for the phone?
Yes.
And you say you don't have to pay for the phone because that's what he gets for cheating.
Yes.
Ah. You're suing on behalf of your son because he's 17. You're 17?
15.
15. Don't you all have better things to do with your time? How much was this telephone?
$108.
Josh, you go to high school?
Yes.
What time do you go to high school, Josh?
9 a.m. to 2:25 p.m.
And what do you do at 2:25?
I go home.
What do you do when you get home?
Whatever I'm doing that day.
Like? Do you ever have a job?
Yeah, I go to work.
It's what we're talking about, Josh. Where do you go to work?
I work at Wendy's.
How many hours a week?
About 20.
Do you have a new cell phone?
No,
Why not?
I didn't buy one yet.
But you're going to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
With the money that you get from your job, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Then your mother's not out any money. Look, Miss Andrews, your son is 17 years old. You want Mrs. Amadon to be responsible for her 15-year-old daughter's hissy fit, right?
Yes.
She had a hissy fit because she got a text message on the phone from a girl, right?
Right.
Now, Miss Amadon, she doesn't know anything about this hissy fit that her daughter pulled off, right?
Right.
I'm going to try to give you an analogy that probably is not a really very good analogy, but I'm going to run it up the flagpole anyway. Let's say, instead of having a hissy fit, Leanne, because the hissy fit is not right, took the phone, smashed it, right?
Yes.
Because maybe he didn't do the right thing socially, right? You have another friend that was text messaging you?
Yes.
Let's say one of these two teenagers gave the other a sexually transmitted disease. You think that either one of you mothers would be responsible for that?
No.
No. So why do you think Miss Amadon should be responsible for her daughter's hissy fit?
Because the phone was in my name. And I got it so I could keep track of him, you know, so I could call and check where he was going, who he was with, type deal. And
he used it for other things, too. I don't see Mrs. Amadon paying for her daughter's hissy fit. So you're going to buy yourself a new phone from your money at Wendy's, right?
Yes.
This is a very, very good lesson for you, Josh. Women don't like to be made a fool of. Sometimes they cut your clothes in half with you in them. Sometimes they take bleach and they pour it all over the interior of your car. That's what women do. Right?
yes.
Men don't react that way. You know, they just go out there and get dirty. Women think about how they're going to get even. So I want you to think about that next time you have a girlfriend and decide that while you have an exclusive girlfriend, you decide to be a non-exclusive. That's not saying you have to be exclusive. I think you should play the field until you're 40 if you want to. But if you decide to be exclusive and you're messing around, I want you to expect the unexpected. Always happen. Got it?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think that she was wrong in breaking the phone.
She smashed it. That's the bottom line.
Jealousy.
It don't matter why she smashed it. That was irrelevant to the whole entire thing. She smashed my phone. That's the bottom line.
He was talking to some other girl.
I wasn't being honest with her.
He's a player.
I'm not a player.
I'm not going to buy no more phones.
Angela Marie is suing her daughter, set painter Lisa Kales, for a series of unpaid loans. Lisa says her mother abandoned her when she was a child.
All rise. Yes, it's case number 326 on the calendar in the matter of Marie versus Kales. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Marie, the defendant is your daughter. And it is your claim that she was disabled, and while she was waiting for her disability to come through, her Social Security disability,
yes.
you loaned her money, and when she got her retroactive money, she did not reimburse you for the monies you had loaned to her. Your daughter says that you did in fact help her while she was waiting for her disability to come through. You did so because you were her mother, because you had not been much of a mother previously to her, and there was never any arrangement between the two of you for payback of the money that you advanced her while she was sick. Okay. How many children do you have, Miss Marie?
Your Honor, I have 3.
How old are they?
In their 30s.
How old is the defendant?
34.
Did they always live with you when they were young?
I raised them until while I was working, they were 3 children from hell. I mean, what they were...
Could you just answer my question? Were they living with you, or were they not living with you during all their minority?
I was taking full responsibility for them.
You want to answer my question?
Till I was 10 years old.
And where did you go when you were 10?
She took my brothers and I to my aunt's house. And we stayed there for 2 or 3 years. and I never went back after that. Group homes, foster homes, friends.
So after the time you were 10 years old, you did not live with your mother?
No.
Are you the older of the children? Or?
I'm the youngest.
And how old are your brothers and sisters?
36 and 38.
What's the nature of your disability?
Bilateral carpal tunnel.
Did you have surgery?
Yes.
Didn't work?
No.
All right, Miss Marie, you want to tell me about the money that you allegedly loaned to your daughter?
Okay, I have been supporting her because she's not been able to keep a job. I kept giving her money, and she promised to pay me back. A car was involved. Besides loaning her money, I have given her. I've bought her.
I just want to know about the loans, Miss Marie.
It's a running tab, Your Honor. She started the tab in her handwriting and said, from now on, whatever I borrow, you keep the receipts and you put it on the tab.
Let me see.
There's 3 things on this list from 1997.
Can I see it, please?
That's what she started. Progressively, we added more things on. I left half this. This is a fraction of what I've given her over the years, Your Honor.
Who cares?
She's my mother.
Shh. Who cares? I want to know what's a loan. I want to see evidence. Listen to me. I want to see evidence of a loan. If you have children, that's what you do. They can't take care of themselves and they're going through a difficult time, and you support them, you take them into your home, you buy them clothes, you take them out to dinner, you pay for the phone. That's not a loan. I don't know what you have in your mind with this being a loan. I want to see evidence of a loan. This says Lisa owes mom $150, $600, $120, and a car with a question mark. I mean, I have a Ralph's food bill.
All these receipts are from grocery stores.
Just a second.
Kmart.
I have Ralph's food bill.
She told me to put these on the loan. Your Honor, I'm not wealthy. I was giving her money that I was paying for. Sometimes I would get paid maybe $200, $300. I was giving her money. $600 for furniture. I was buying her furniture. I was supporting her, and her promise to me is that when she got a settlement, we changed the agreements from whenever she could afford it. See, I was helping her get settled in California. I paid her bills. She lived with me. The fact that I never abandoned her, Your Honor, that is so untrue. Her father came into my life and says that...
I'm not interested in what happened 30 years ago. All I'm saying to you, madam,
But it's not 30 years ago. She thinks I abandoned her. That never happened.
Did she live with you when she was 12?
No.
The social services came in and took the kids away, Your Honor.
What I'm telling you, madam, is social service
because I was working.
Oh, please, Miss Marie, get your life together. Take this.
Your Honor,
show me evidence of a loan. I want to see evidence of a loan to your daughter.
Can I say something?
What?
There was no cash. She didn't hand me cash money. It was like a favor for a favor. I didn't want to say this, but my mother's homeless. She lives in a van. She hasn't had a residence. So I'm unable to support her financially, so I help her another way. She needs a place to stay. She's always had keys to my apartment, to shower, to get on the internet, to use the telephone, Your Honor, whatever she needs. So it's like a favor for a favor. She would say, I'll take you to the grocery store if you let me come over and take a shower or use the phone.
I know, listen to me.
That's what it is.
That's not the truth, Your Honor.
Listen to
me.
Miss Marie, I want to see evidence that you as a mother had an agreement, a contract with your daughter so that any monies that you either advanced her or times you took her to the shoe store or to Ralph's grocery store, that there was an intention to pay back. Show me.
The parts that I've highlighted is her admitting that this was, she was going to pay me back.
Well, the first letter says that this is about the car that you mentioned, and she says that happened 7 years ago. We had no agreement. Nothing was signed. You were helping me out because I'm your daughter. And the second letter that you show me is, you have written here, October 2003. You say you have done and still are doing a lot of wonderful things for me. Please don't think it goes unappreciated. Does that sound familiar to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have every intention of paying you back. My plan is to pay you all at once out of my settlement. You have been so patient about the whole situation, and I thank you for that. I am sure it's been very difficult. If you could just hold out a little longer until my case settles, I promise you will be completely reimbursed.
My case hasn't settled. You have to say something to this woman or she will come slash her tires or take you to court.
I beg your
Or she'll get you.
No.
She will get you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Angela Marie claims her daughter, Lisa Kales, owes for many unpaid loans. Angela says she is currently homeless.
Go ahead.
This has been the most abusive situation I've ever been in my life, and I never allowed her abuse to keep me from giving to her. I was at her beck and call. I was her doctor. I was her therapist. I did everything.
You're my mother.
I'm stunned.
Listen to me.
These are letters telling how much he has abused me over the years and has lied about this. It would be nice to think that we could walk around the park and could solve all our problems, but I see that I am the cause of all our problems, so maybe I need to go walking alone. Yeah. I mean, Lisa is lying. I can read forever. If you give me an hour, it's not enough.
I don't have an hour.
I know,
what I'm asking
but I'm
you,
trying to tell you that this woman is lying, Your Honor. A mother is obligated to their children to the age of 18.
I'm speaking, and you're not getting...
I've been supporting her for
1, 2...
Okay.
And then you're gone. How do you support yourself? I'm asking you a question. How do you support yourself?
Up until about 2 years ago, a transcriptionist.
How do you support yourself now?
Now I have been disabled. I have been borrowing from General Relief. I had to pay that all back. I have been certified. I went to a hearing. I'm certified disabled for several things. And
listen to me very carefully. If you've been giving your daughter money, and if you've been helping her for the last 2 years with money that you have gotten
not
from...
2 years.
Listen to me. I'm speaking carefully. Carefully. You just told me that up until 2 years ago you were employed as a transcriptionist. Since that time you have not been employed. You were receiving general relief. You were receiving disability. So if you supported your daughter over the last 2 years, you were supporting her, since you have to say when you get general relief that you have no income and you have no money, you were supporting her out of state money. You were supporting her out of money that comes from the general population. I don't understand why a mother, if her daughter is disabled, if her daughter is ill,
disabled.
if her daughter...
She's not disabled.
Well, neither am I. Your case is dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused.
I can't believe that it came to this. I have been everything to this girl, and I've been giving her all my money, and she's laughing there.
I was kind of hoping that she would win because she's not going to let it go. I want a restraining order now.
She has been coercing me by being nice to me to get more money out of me.
We try, we don't get along, we get along, we don't get along.
There is no relationship. There hasn't been one. I asked her to please go get counseling. I realize now that I'm going to need it also.
Maybe we could, yay, you know, but I don't see us speaking again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Burnett versus Burnett, step forward.
Drug counselor Frances Burnett is suing her ex-boyfriend, maintenance man Quentin Barnett, for vandalizing her Pontiac Grand Am twice. Frances claims he was caught red-handed both times.
You're not related to each other.
No, ma'am.
But he was your boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you broke up with him.
Yes.
According to what I'm piecing together from your complaint, he didn't take this breakup well.
No, ma'am, he did.
And he vandalized your car, according to you? He came to your job and created a scene, harassing you. You want him to compensate you for both.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Burnett says he just wanted to talk, right?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't want to talk to you. When did he vandalize your car?
On August 26, 2004.
Tell me about it.
Earlier that evening, I had Mr. Burnett had called me stating he wanted to come by my house and talk to me. Mr. Burnett at that time was not welcome at my house, so I told him he could not come.
When had you broken up with him?
The second week in August of 2004.
Do you care to tell me why?
Around that time, my house was broken into, and at that time, I was suspicious of Mr. Burnett, and I asked him to leave my home and ended the relationship.
Was he living with you at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
How long had he been living with you?
About a year.
Why did you think he was somehow responsible for the burglary?
The last 6 months of our relationship was very disruptive. We were into a lot of arguments. I didn't like the type of people he was hanging around, and he was just, suspicious to me.
Tell me what happened on August 26th.
Mr. Burnett called and stated he was coming over to my house. At that point, I sat in my living room looking out the window waiting on him. When I saw him arrive, he did not get out in my driveway. He got out down the street from my house, and I saw him exit a vehicle and walk toward my house. As he walked toward my house, he started to ring the doorbell and knock on the door. At that point, I called the police. And all of a sudden, I heard a noise outside my window. I looked outside my kitchen window where my car was and saw Mr. Burnett vandalizing my car.
What did he do to the car?
He smashed the front windshield. The 2 rear view mirrors were smashed out. And then he took a iron brick and scarred the whole car up.
You have a police report?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
May I see it, please?
I also have pictures.
I'd like to see those too. Did you have a hissy fit?
No, ma'am.
Did you scratch her car?
No, ma'am.
What did you do to her car?
I didn't do anything to the car. I went over there. She didn't let me in, so I left.
She told you not to come over to begin with.
Yes, she did.
She told you not to come over. What'd you go over there for?
Because I wanted to talk to her.
She didn't want to talk to you.
Well,
Are you trying to tell me you just left?
yeah, I did just leave.
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh, well, whatever.
Okay. When was the next act of vandalism on the car?
August the 27th.
What happened then?
Earlier that day, Mr. Burnett had been calling me on my job with harassing phone calls and threats.
What did he say?
That he was going to get me, that he was going to call my boss and cost me my job, that he was going to beat my A and everything according to that. He also came up on my job that day and attempted to assault me. As a result of his actions against me on my job, I lost my job, and I have a police report to
I'd like to see it, please. In the year that you were living together, how many times were the police called to your house because of assaults?
Several.
Who assaulted whom?
He got the assault charge.
Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Why what?
What'd you hit her for?
Because she did something to me.
What did she do to you?
She hit me first, so I hit her back.
Oh, well, if she hit you first, that's the reason. So you hit her back. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I bit her.
You bit her?
On the job.
Sounds like a relationship made in heaven. Tell me what happened on the 27th, please.
Late on that evening, I went home, and that's when my son came to report to me that he was outside slashing the tires on my other car.
Tell me your name.
Gordon.
Did you get along with Mr. Burnett?
Okay.
Do you remember August 27th?
Yes.
Remember what happened with the tires of your mom's other car?
He slashed them.
What time was this?
9:30.
In the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
When you saw him slashing the tires, did you say anything to him? Did you call out to him?
No.
What did you do?
Told her, and she called the police.
Is Gordon lying?
I guess he is, because I ain't do it.
So somebody else slashed her tires?
Yeah.
And somebody else rode all over her car?
Yep.
Now listen to me. In the year that you lived, year or so that you lived in her house, how many times was her car vandalized?
None. Zero.
None. No. I'm just trying to get some information, some basic facts from you, sir. In the year that you lived with her,
zero.
She had 2 cars, and nothing happened to the cars, right?
Yeah, right.
And in the week following her putting you out of the house, both of her cars end up vandalized. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Isn't that bizarre? How coincidental that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's just mind-boggling how those things just happen to come around. Isn't it mind-boggling?
Quite a coinky-dink.
Right. I see the estimates, please, on fixing your car. Mr. Barnett, you got to put a rein in on that temper, sir. You know what the policeman says about you here?
What is that?
He says you are angry. Were you angry?
He couldn't have said it about me because I wasn't over there. He must have been talking about somebody else.
Well, no. It's you. It's you. He says you're angry. He said your general appearance was conservative, but your demeanor was angry. Now, tell me what happened when he got to your place of employment, Miss Burnett.
He came on the job. He was very, very disturbed, wanted me to come from around the desk, and I would not.
What kind of work do you do?
Alcohol and drug counselor.
Why did you go to her place of employment, Mr. Barnett?
To talk to her.
She didn't want to talk to you. She told you that before.
Oh, okay.
You're a nice-looking young man. You have a job?
Yes.
What kind of job do you have?
A maintenance man.
So you have a job? You make a living, right?
Yes.
You find another girl? She doesn't like you anymore.
I hear you.
So you're going to leave her alone, right?
Yes.
If you don't, you're going to go to jail. Do you understand? You working now?
No, ma'am.
How long did you have that job?
3 years.
On what date were you let go?
August 30th, 2004.
You caused her to lose her job, Mr. Burnett. Caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to her car. Was your temper tantrum worth it? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
I'm very happy with her decision. I finally got this closure to my life, and so I can go ahead and try to find me another job.
I went up there to talk to her. I didn't put my hands on her.
It's been mentally disturbing, a lot of mental anguish, very stressful.
I didn't do it. She didn't have no papers up there saying that I did.
I love Judge Judy, and I thank her for seeing my side of it.
20-year-old delivery truck driver Michael Johnson is suing 20-year-old landscaper Jim Cummings for sucker punching him at a party. Jim says Michael hit him first.
Order. All rise. This is case number 340 on the calendar in the matter of Johnson versus Cummings. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, folks.
Mr. Johnson, you were an uninvited guest at the defendant's birthday party. Is that right?
Not entirely, Your Honor.
Who invited you to his birthday party?
There was a group of friends that were meeting up there that night, approximately 5, including one of my witnesses, Eric Sullivan.
Who invited you?
I was
told...
told...
it's not an answer, sir. Let me refresh your recollection as to what you said in your complaint. On August 27th, 2004, my friends and I heard about a party. So my question to you is, who invited you?
Like I said, there was a group of friends that were meeting up there that night. I was told to come by.
So the answer is nobody invited you?
Correct.
Good. And it is your claim that when you got there, you'll tell me what happened, but that the defendant, whose birthday was being celebrated that evening at his home, right?
Correct.
Hit you, and you were injured. Mr. Cummings says you were in fact an uninvited guest at his party. He told you to leave. You hit him first, and he hit you back, right?
Correct.
How old were you?
20 years old, ma'am, on that day.
And who do you live with?
My parents.
You live in a house?
Yes, ma'am.
How big a house?
4-bedroom.
Where were your parents?
My parents were vacationing.
Got it? Had you discussed having a party at the house before they went on vacation?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many people did they say that you should have at your party?
They said 20 people was fine.
How many people showed up at your party?
20 to 25 people.
So you were 5 over quota.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Johnson, tell me what time you got to the party.
It's approximately 11:30.
Where had you been before?
My house.
With whom?
I was a designated driver for my friend Erica and Renee. She came by my house, picked me up, then we picked up Erica and went up to Nashua.
What happened when you got there?
We got there, we ran into a few of our friends. There's approximately 5 out of 30 to 40 some odd people that were actually there. I had asked my friend Corey if he knew who lived there. He didn't know. On my way up from the basement where I thought I heard some people that I knew. I did not. Came upstairs, someone had approached me, said, "Do you know, is Cummings down there?" And I said, "Sorry, I don't know who Cummings is." He laughed and walked away. Now, next thing I knew, I was surrounded by approximately 5 people, 5, 6 people. One of them had said, "Do you know who Cummings is?" I said, "No, I don't." And then he said, "Why don't you try and guess?" So, not knowing who he was, I said, "I don't know, you?" And they all started laughing. Now, the only one who wasn't laughing was the defendant, and he came up to me.
Because his name is?
Jim Cummings. He then approached me, gave me an open-handed slap in the face, and said, "You and your friends get the F out of my house." I then turned to my friend Erica. I said, "Well, seeing as how I was just slapped, I think it's time to leave." A couple of people had stopped me, asked me what happened. I said, "I just got slapped in the face by the person who lives here, and I'm leaving." And then the defendant came back out and said, "All right, it's getting too loud. Everybody needs to get back inside the house." And he was looking at me when he said this. I said, "Well, I think I'm going to leave anyway."
Good idea.
I thought so. So I was walking to the car. It was parked in inside of a cul-de-sac. We were walking to the car, and there was a girl there crying. She's like, "Oh, this is garbage. I'm so sick of this. I want to get out of here." And I said, "Hey, somebody else who hates this party."
Is that this young lady here?
Yes, it is.
What were you crying about?
That there were so many people there and it was getting outrageous.
Because why?
Because everybody was a little intoxicated. There really wasn't that many people there. It was like...
I asked you a question. I didn't ask you for a whole tale. I said, why were you crying?
Because there were too many people there and it was getting outrageous and the neighbors were coming over complaining. And
Good. Now you can sit down. Okay, so...
So as I was walking to the car and I said that to her, next thing I know, out of right field, he comes up running from behind me. That's my effing girlfriend. He swings me around and punches me in the face at the same time.
Mr. Cummings, is that what happened, sir?
No, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me your version of what happened, Mr. Cummings? Were you drunk that evening?
I was slightly intoxicated as well as everybody else that was at the party, including him.
Well, I don't know. Just a second. Okay. I don't know whether he was intoxicated at all, sir. But I do know that if you were celebrating your 20th birthday, you were intoxicated.
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Cummings, I want you to understand something. The reason your girlfriend was crying wasn't because there were too many people at the party. That's a fib, she just told me. I believe she was crying. But she was crying because something happened there at the party, because she's not so responsible that she's out there crying because there are too many people and the neighbors are coming over. Somebody told her to be quiet. That's not why she's crying. Either you said something to her or something happened there that upset her. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good. How old are you?
17.
17, because I know 17-year-olds. They don't get upset because there are too many people at a party. They get upset because maybe their boyfriend says something that they don't like. Maybe you were flirting with somebody else. Maybe you said something that wasn't nice to her. All of those things are possibilities, not because the party was too loud. That wouldn't.
Cynthia Zane is.
So now let's get back to, you tell me your version of what happened to Mr. Johnson.
He was being loud and obnoxious all night, and the neighbor from next door, she has small children, and I respect that, and she came over and asked me to quiet the party down, which I then asked a couple of my friends to go around and say, hey, calm down, and I did too. And I asked the defendant to calm down and his friends.
Where was he when you asked him to calm down?
He was inside the dining room drinking Bacardi-O. He came to my house with a half a bottle of Bacardi-O, which I assume the other half was consumed when he was at his house.
Go ahead.
I asked him then to leave. He got up, and then we were walking outside. Words were exchanged. He was swearing at me, saying, F you, why am I leaving this party? He was very upset because he had to leave and other people weren't leaving. I told him because my neighbor, asked me to calm down, and he was the only one that seemed to not calm down, was him.
So you're telling me, sir, that the story that Mr. Johnson just told me about going outside and seeing your girlfriend crying, that wasn't true. Is that what you're telling me?
No, he may have went outside.
Go ahead.
He may have went outside and seen my girlfriend crying, but that's not true, no.
Mr. Cummings, is what you're telling me that Mr. Johnson was not telling me the truth when he said he was outside of your home already before you hit him, and that's when he saw your girlfriend crying?
I don't know if it was at that same time, Your Honor. She was crying all night.
Why was she crying all night, Mr. Cummings?
Because she was upset with me.
Why?
Because we had broke up during the night. It's alcohol and booze and drama. That's what it is. It's a teenage party, It's a teenage party. That's how it is.
Listen to me, Mr. Cummings. I'm aware of that, sir.
Okay.
That's why I said she wasn't telling me the truth when she gave me the reason that she was crying. Right?
Correct.
And that's why you're not telling me the truth, sir, about when this altercation took place with Mr. Johnson, because it took place outside.
Correct.
Not inside.
I was not done my story, Your Honor.
Then get to it, Mr. Cummings.
At that point, I asked him to leave. We went outside. He was exchanging words with me and swearing at me. And he
Just a
went
second.
outside.
If you asked him to leave,
okay,
and he went outside, why were you going outside?
Because I was making sure that he was leaving, because he seemed to be the most obnoxious person there, Your Honor.
Not quite.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
keep going?
We went outside, and at that point, he then pushed me, and I pushed him back. And then he swung at me and hit me, and I counterpunched him in the face, and then he was gone, and that was it, and I didn't hear anything until this.
Who else was outside with you, Mr. Johnson?
I was, Your Honor.
Step up. Name?
Erica Galvin.
What happened outside, Miss Galvin?
Outside, we were going to leave, and we were just, everybody kept on stopping to ask us what happened. So it was kind of a delayed departure, but we did end up making it halfway to the car when Michael saw apparently his girlfriend and said, hey, somebody else who doesn't like this party. And that's when he came from behind him, grabbed him on the shoulder, and then punched him in the face as he was turning him around.
Sounds right.
And then that's when me, Eric, and a few other people tried to break it up, and 6 of his friends came flocking over and said, stay out of this is not your fight. And we just kept on saying, we just want to leave. And I'd like to include that there was about 40 people there, and most of them were outside. And it was a kegger, so people were paying to get in. That doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be a definite invitation.
There has to be a definite invitation if you don't want trouble, right?
If you don't want trouble.
If you don't want trouble. And when you have a kegger, you don't have 17-year-olds at the party, because if you have 17-year-olds at the party and serving alcohol, you're breaking the law. You're aware of that, Mr. Cummings, aren't you?
Yes.
Perfect. Can I see your medical bill, please?
Yes, there are a few of them here.
Anything else you want to say to me?
I was not drinking at the party. I had not drank.
Is what you stand up?
Yes, I was
stand
not
up. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Okay. Sorry, Your Honor. I was not drinking.
I didn't ask you whether you were drinking or not. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is your statement that you weren't drinking as truthful as your statement moments ago that the reason you were crying is that there were too many people at the party?
Well,
I want you to think about my question. You have to process my question.
I was not drinking. My parents, we live in the same neighborhood, me and Jim.
So just answer my question. So were you lying to me before when you said to me that the reason you were crying is because there were too many people? No. He says that the reason you were crying is because he had broken up with you.
I was upset that we broke up, but I live up the street, so if there was a loud party, my parents would come down and see me there, and I would not...
Sit down. Sit down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, Michael Johnson claims he was punched in the face by Jim Cummings. Jim says Michael crashed his birthday party.
Go ahead.
After approximately 5 days of not being able to chew solid foods, I was on the slim fast and pudding diet. That is accurate.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, I have a friend a foot taller than him that wouldn't take him.
He's a big guy and he was drunk. That's why he was so nasty to his girlfriend. She forgave him. You forgave him, right? Huh?
Yes.
Stupid! Listen, Mr. Cummings, I don't believe you, sir. I believe that this young man came to your house. He was not invited to your birthday party by you.
I apologize, Your Honor. I just wanted to...
Perfect!
I just wanted...
Perfect! Apology is accepted.
Thank you.
This young man came to your house. He was uninvited by you. But it was a party, and that's what happens when teenagers and young people hear about a party around. You know, they hear the words, party, parents gone, on vacation, let's go have a good time. Came to your house, and there was absolutely no reason for you to hit him, except that you'd had a little too much to drink, and you have to pay for that. He's suing you for his medical bills, and not much for pain and suffering, almost $1,800.
Only $500 just for the pain and suffering.
I would have sued him for a lot more. He's got to be taught a lesson. Can't put your hands on somebody. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount requested, $1,779. That's all. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He was just wasted, just yelling and being obnoxious, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were there for all of about 10 minutes. You know, I was driving my friend's car. I wasn't drinking a thing.
He just put his hands up at my girl, and I just punched him in the face.
I can't even understand why you get so mad about it. I said, hey, somebody else who hates this party, rock on.
Moral of the story is, don't mess with the wrong people.
Gotta get a tooth yanked. Looking forward to some more pain.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Donahue versus Sheindlin, step forward, please.
21-year-old fitness consultant Megan Donahue is suing her ex-boyfriend. 24-year-old construction worker Brian Heineck and his mother, Ann, for the return of a bedroom set and entertainment system.
Miss Donahue, this used to be your boyfriend, is that right?
Yes.
You have a child with him?
Yes, I do.
How old is that child?
9 months.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
And for a period of time, you lived in Mr. Heineck's home with his mother.
Yes.
And it is your claim that there was some sort of an altercation. You left, and Mr. Heineck refuses to give you back 2 items of furniture that you purchased that belonged to you. Mr. Heineck says that the bed he paid for and that the home theater was given to him. He doesn't say by whom. When did you move out?
April 9th.
And you moved out with your son?
Yes, I did.
Where did you move to?
My house, my parents' house.
When did you go back for your furniture?
April 9th is the last time I've ever been at their house.
When did you tell them you wanted the bed and the home entertainment center?
April 9th.
Okay. Now, what?
Well, I was there. My son was not there when she came back with her sister, and she did want the bed. She made no mention of an entertainment center. She was very emphatic about the bed.
How old is your son?
My son?
I'm 24, ma'am.
He's 24.
Circuit breaker acts as a safety device in the same way as CPUs. It disconnects the supply automatically if current exceeds the normal value and the normal current passes through the live wire. The electromagnetic is not strong enough to separate the contacts. If something goes wrong with the appliance and large current flows through the live wire, electromagnet will attract the iron strip to separate the contacts and break the circuit. The spring then keeps the contacts apart. After the part is repaired, the contacts can then pushed back together by pressing a button on the outside of the circuit breaker ports. Sometimes even the fuse cannot capture the high currents coming from the live wire into the household appliance. Earthing further protects the user from electric shock by connecting the metal casing of appliance to the earth. Connection to the bare. Many electrical appliances have metal cases, including cooker, washing machines, and refrigerators. The earth wire provides a safe route for current to flow through. If the live wire touches the casing, we will get an electric shock. If the live wire inside an appliance comes loose and touches the metal case, we can check it out like that. This magnetic effects of a steady current, as Ampere discovered that when a current passes through a conductor, produces magnetic field around it. To demonstrate this, we take straight conductor wire and pass it vertically through a cardboard. Now connect and 2 arms of the conductor wire with the terminator battery so that current flows through the circuit clockwise direction. The lines of force of the magnetic field produced around the wire would be in the form of concentric circles. If we place a compass needle at the different points in the region of magnetic field, it will align along the direction of magnetic field. Also, if we sprinkle some iron film on the cardboard around the wire, they will align themselves in concentric circles in the clockwise direction. If Instead of straight conductor, we place a circuit loop inside the magnetic field. The loop will rotate due to torque acting on the coil. This is also the working printer perpendicular to the field. We can check this current carrying circuit magnetic field. It's south pole and its north pole battery magnet armature rotations is clockwise and this means we can change the number of magnetic lines of force required by the magnetic field. Galvanometer shows no deflection and as there is no current. Now move the wire downward through the field. Current is induced on direction as shown, no deflection. The galvanometer. Now move the wire upward through the field. Current is induced in the opposite directions. And we can check it. It implies that an electric current is generated in a wire only when the wire cuts magnetic valence. This induced current is generated by the induced EMF in the circuit. Faraday found that to generate current, either the conductor must move through a magnetic field or a magnetic field must change across the conductor. The process of generating an induced current in a circuit by changing the number of magnetic lines of force passing through it is called electromagnetic inductions. And we can check these two images phenomena of electromagnetic inductions by north and south pole solenoid coil and galvanometer. And you can check these induced inductions, radiations moving directions. Current in solenoid is in opposite directions. When the magnet is pulled away from the solenoid, the galvanometer reflects towards left, indicating that the induced current in the solenoid is in opposite directions. From the above experience, we conclude that an EMF is induced in the coil when there is a relative motions between the coil and the magnet. This phenomenon in which an EMF is induced due to the relative motion between the coil and the magnet is called electromagnetic induction. The value of induced EMF is a circuit is directly proportional to the rate of change of one number of magnetic lines of force through it. And direction of induced EMF Lenz's law. Direction of an induced current in a circuit always such that it opposite the cause of that produces it. If we bring a north pole of a wire magnet near a solenoid, an EMF will be induced in the solenoid. By electromagnetic induction, the directions of the induced current in the solenoid by the induced EMF will be such that it will repel the north pole of magnet. This is when the north pole of magnet is moved towards the coil, end of coil becomes south pole. When the north pole of the magnet is moved away from the coil, end of the coil becomes south pole. You can check these armature force down one direction or location. This anti-clockwise and force is also anti-clockwise. Field line is clockwise and north and south pole. Slip ring. This is an AC circuit, AC generator. Armature is arranged so that it can rotate freely in the magnetic field. As the armature turns, the wire moves through magnetic field lines and induced EMF is And we can check this example. Walk-through metal detectors are installed at airports and other places for security purposes. These detectors detect metal weapons using the principle of electromagnetic inductions. And we can check this phenomena of production of induced current in one coil due to change of current in a neighboring coil is called mutual induction. Suppose a system of two coils A and B is placed close to each other. The coil A is connected to a battery and a switch valve sensitive galvanometer is connected to a coil B. We observe that as soon as the switch of coil A is closed, the galvanometer shows momentary deflections, and this is EMF current increase when position the plane of the loop, so the EMF and current maximum values.